I'm 165 right now.
Bro, you're lying.
I'm 165 right now.
The scale, I don't know if this guy really 165.
Man, I promise you I am.
£164. I know it seems like I was lying, but there you go. That's proof right there. What's up, AD team? Austin Dunham back again with another video. And as you saw right there, I am 164 pounds. I'm gonna post the kilograms right here. I know a lot of you guys don't believe that, given that I'm 5'11"-ish, 5'10.5"-ish. The question is, how do I weigh that much while looking the way I do? So in this video, I'm gonna explain everything. We're gonna go over different points within this video. And also, if you stay to the end, we're gonna do some body comparisons, me versus other people who are lighter than me, the same weight as me, and heavier than me, so that we can play all this into perspective, right? All right, so first things first, before we dive into it, there's one word that you have to keep in mind as I discuss all of this. And that one word is super important when it comes to bodybuilding and looking good, given your weight. And that one word is illusion. Illusion gives off a different reality, and when you take pictures or when you see me in person, I get that illusion. One word, that illusion that I'm bigger than what I really am. Well, the first thing we gotta keep in mind is my body fat percentage. Now, it goes without saying that I'm a pretty lean guy. We saw at the beginning of the video, the scale said that I was anywhere between 11 to 12% body fat. I think I'm anywhere near 9 and 10% body fat right now too. So with that being said, if you are at a low percentage body fat, you give off that illusion that you are bigger than what you really are. And since I've never really bulked before, I've given off the illusion that I'm bigger than what I really am, just because of my body fat percentage. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, Austin, what is that scale you were using at the beginning of this video? Well guys, the scale is by a company called My Life Pro Shop. It's the scale that I have been using the past year now. And I use it to, one, obviously track my weight whenever I am trying to lose weight. Everybody should always have a scale. And two, I use it to track my body fat percentage just to give me a rough estimate. Now, the way that this scale does it is through something called bioelectrical impedance, which means that it runs an electrical signal up your body once you place your bare feet on the scale, and it will tell you a rough ballpark of your body fat percentage. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people might be like, that's not super accurate, or it's not like a DEXA scan, which is true, all right? It's not super accurate, but like I said, it gives you a pretty great ballpark estimate range to what your body fat percentage is. Now, another way that the scale does this is by inputting your stats. So for me, I put in my height, my activity level, basically a user profile in which you can do for other people too within the scale. And that's how it also makes sure that it gives a pretty accurate reading. Furthermore, if I'm cutting or losing weight, I will actually in my notepad write down my weight and my body fat percentage each and every week that the scale tells me, so that way I can just track my progress easier. Now, the scale is actually a sponsor of this video, so they are offering you guys an amazing deal today. You can get one for 60% off if you use the code ADFIT60 in the description down below. So go ahead, go check them out, go copy you a scale if you're wanting to track your progress and be more aware of your progress. They ship worldwide. Go check it out down below, 60% off. All right, the next thing we're gonna talk about as to why I look so big given my weight is two things, all right? Muscle insertions and muscle bellies. Muscle insertions is where your muscle attached on your tendon, okay? Everybody has different muscle insertions, and a great way that we can definitely see this is through the bicep, all right? Everybody always gives the bicep example. If you notice when I flex my bicep, I have a really full bicep. And what that means is that my bicep, it attaches low at the tendon, right? And that makes it really full when I flex. Same with this one, both sides. Now, there are some people where their bicep doesn't attach at the tendon right here, at the low part, and it's more higher. So they'll have more of a space between here. They'll have more golf ball biceps. They might appear weaker, or they might appear a little bit smaller. Now, that was just one reference of the muscle insertion and how mine makes me look pretty big, given that my arms are a decent size too, including the tricep. If you see how long it is, it goes all the way down there. We can also see an example of the lower body, which I'm not genetically gifted at, and that is the calves. I have pretty high calves because my muscle insertions are not low like a lot of people with bigger calves are. So with that being said, that's why I have smaller calves too. It all comes down to genetics. Now, when we talk about muscle bellies, I'm talking about just the overall fullness of a muscle. Besides my calves, everywhere else, I have pretty full muscle bellies. Honestly, if I was to hop on steroids or if I was to dive headfirst into bodybuilding, I truly believe I could really do well in competing, like no lie. I've been told that my muscle bellies just look really, really full in comparison to other people. Another example I can give is my traps. I have really freaking big traps and they're just really full. Maybe I have high androgen receptors in this area, but that's another reason as to why I look so big, is because my traps are absolutely gigantic. And when I'm wearing a tank top, or especially once I got a pump when I'm working out, my traps just look insane, and it looks like I have like a Cobra back or a Ninja Turtle back. Now, along with delusion, one thing you can realize is that I'm really talking about genetics. Genetics is pretty much the whole reason why I look bigger than what I do. Now, the next part about genetics that we're gonna talk about is my skeletal frame. Now, this is one that a lot of people don't realize. Some people might realize that I do have full muscle bellies, I have long insertions, stuff like that, but nobody takes account into my skeletal frame. Now, if you notice, in regards to skeletal frame, it literally means my whole skeletal system, because the muscle has to sit on something. And me personally, I have a smaller frame. And the reason why I know this is because if you look at my wrists, I have super skinny wrists. Like, look how far down that goes. I also have smaller ankles. I have smaller calves, which I've already mentioned. And another part that I haven't mentioned is my clavicle or my shoulder width. Your clavicle bone is this bone right here. And if you notice, mine's actually is pretty narrow. All right, it's not super long like my friend Kenneth. My friend Kenneth has super wide clavicles and it makes him look like a superhero. But mine's are actually pretty narrow, and since mine are narrow, it makes me lighter than what I appear because my skeletal frame is light. And another thing is, even though I have short clavicles or more narrow shoulders and clavicles, my waist is skinny, which works out perfectly because if I had a bigger waist, then I wouldn't look aesthetic at all. My waist is around 28 inches around. Yes, I promise, 28 inches around. So not only is my skeletal frame small and more thin, but like I said, I have a smaller pelvis and my waist is pretty narrow around. So to make a long story short, I've built muscle on my smaller frame, and that muscle, given all the other genetical factors I've talked about, makes me look bigger than what I actually am too. Now, another point I want to talk about is my lower body. Now, I don't have a total unproportionate lower body. My thighs and my hamstrings are decent given my upper body size. However, as I mentioned before, my calves are not huge by any means, and that could be a deduction of around 15 or 10 pounds or so, believe it or not. Now that you have a better understanding, let's do a little bit of body comparisons with people who I've taken pictures with. I'm honestly curious as to how I would look if I went on a bulk. If I was to, you know, gain weight and really filled out this frame, just imagine the potential I have to be even more aesthetic and also maintain or improve my calisthenic strength and weighted calisthenic strength. Because if I look like this right now at 164 pounds, imagine what I could look like at 185 pounds lean. And I haven't been training that long, so I'm nowhere near my genetic potential and what I'm really capable of. I'm actually thinking about starting a bulking series come August where I do go on a bodyweight bulk. All right guys, I think this video was pretty long-winded, but hopefully it did explain everything you need to know. Be sure to subscribe down below if you're new, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.